right, well, I am back, and we're back to doing some builds and doing some crafty things. So hello Crafty Creators, and welcome to Crafty Creations by Paul. Today I want to show you how I made, let's get it in focus there, this torch. All right, can you see that? This torch for this diorama, and the torches are going to sit next to the throne. And very simple to make. Just takes a couple items, and now I have these straws here. I'm going to show you how to make one of those out of this and a wire nut. Okay, your choice on wire nuts that you want to use. There are smaller ones that are out there like this that might fit into a straw a little bit better if that's what you want to do. But I prefer the bigger size because these are a little thicker, and I don't remember where I got these straws, but I got them on clearance somewhere, and they're very stiff and very rigid, so they're not like a normal straw. So what we're going to do with this is I'm going to take some super glue, and I'm going to drop a drop or two inside of here. And we're going to take this wire nut and we're going to push it into the straw and let it sit up. Now, like I say, you can use a regular straw for this, and it'd probably be a little bit more pliable than these are, because I can't, you know how a normal straw you can kind of squeeze them. I can't squeeze these. These are pretty thick. So then what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off to whatever length I want to have it at. So I'm going to set this on the stand over here. I don't want it to be tall, but I do want it to be, I want it to fit good over the throne. And as you can see, they're kind of hard to cut. All right, so now I've got that cut. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to hit this with some, now you could spray paint this if you wanted to. Just to understand that spray paint does take a little longer to dry, but you can use spray paint on these. I'm just going to hit this with some black acrylic that's very minimally thinned, because I want it to be thicker so it spreads on good, so I don't have to put on more than one coat, because I'm an impatient person. All right, so then you spray paint or you hand brush this with acrylic paint. Now you'll get to a point where it's not going to you'll get your hands all over it. So I'm going to take one of these little metal things that I have here, and I'm going to paint my arm. I'm going to push this down onto that a little bit. See, painted my arm. It's awesome. All right, so, and if you're wondering about these copper bracelets, do they work? No, they do not. Somebody asked me one day at work, says, do those work? I said, they look nice, but they don't do anything for me. I still have hand pain and body aches and things like that. So, but it does look nice. All right, so I've got black painted on this right now. And then your next step, if you wanted to, you could really do anything with these. Now you could put, sometimes I'll use this and these are just cheapo. I think I got this from Dollar General. Just cheap acrylic paints. You don't have to go hog wild on it. There's some paints out there that people have that are made for dioramas and things like that. Nah, you don't have to do that. I've got this brushed metal. It's brushed bronze. You could use that. You could do whatever you want. If you wanted it to look like rust, it's driving me crazy with that paint on my arm. If you want it to look like rust, you could come across it with a reddish brown to make it look like rust. But I kind of wanted to go with just a light metal look on there. So this is where I'm at with this one. So do that and then let it dry. Sometimes you can use an air gun to do that. I mean a heat gun. So how am I going to make it look? Now I'm not going to light this up. I could run a wire through here and put like one of the fairy lights in here and attach it to a battery pack. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to light these torches. But what you can do then is you can fill this with hot glue. Okay, just fill that puppy up all the way to the top, and then let it sit there for a little bit and cool. Okay. Once it cools and it gets to the point where you can mess with it. Now I have, this looks like a dentist tool, but I have this, and when it starts to cool, I'll sit here and I'll just start kind of messing with the hot glue a little bit. I don't want to do a whole lot, but I do want to get it to where it's raised up a little bit more, and just start playing with it until you get it to where the hot glue starts to cool off enough to where you can mold it into whatever shape you want it to be in. Now that's the start. I don't have enough hot glue in there, so I'm going to put just a little bit more, and when I do that, it's going to, of course, melt what I just did. All right, so now we've got that set, and I'm going to stick it down here where these lights are, and I'm just going to let it kind of sit there and cool off and chill out. Basically, what I'm going to get to with this is to where I can make it look like flame. So you'll sit there, and I think I got these picks. I bought these little metal picks and things. I got them at Hobby Lobby, or no, Harbor Freight. So you sit there and you pick and you pick and you pick at this, and you mess with it while it's cooling. And while it's hot, it's not going to do any good because it's just going to keep forming back into itself until eventually you get that flame. And I'm pretty satisfied with the way that flame looks on here. And so what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up putting some hot glue down in the space where I want this to go. Put some hot glue down here, and I'm going to shove this down into, you can see where some of the paint's come off because that was where I spray painted it. That's why I don't like to use spray paint in there, just simply because it peels off easier. You got to be careful not to push through your foam. This is made out of XPS foam, as you can see, the whole thing. The rocks here are made of foam. These are cardboard. They come in sheets, different colored sheets. I bought these off of Amazon, and it's just corrugated paper, basically. And they work great for making these columns. So what you do is you just cut a piece off and you just roll it up however big you want it, and you roll it into this tube, and then you paint it whatever color you want it to be. And then once you get it painted, you can attach it to those column bases. All right, so this glue here, while I've been yammering and running my mouth, this glue is cooled off enough to where now I've got something that looks and resembles a flame. So what then I do is I take just a little bit of this bright neon Rust-Oleum paint. I'm going to spray a little bit of that onto my plate, so it is. And believe it or not, I don't use a paintbrush for this. I use this little pick thing again, and I just get some of that on that pick, and I just kind of go across this flame with that orange. Now, you could hit it with some You could put some black in there if you wanted to give it some depth. I haven't done that. Let's just try that and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, you could do that, and I'm okay with it. But I'm going to go back across it with some orange because I want this to look more like flame. But it's kind of cool because now I've got that black on there, and it resembles more of a flame. So, gotta be careful. Don't want to lay that on my diorama and get bright orange on the diorama, because you can't explain why there's bright orange on a diorama on an ancient temple. So I'm going to hit that with some hot glue down in that hole where I'm going to put this. And I've got 2 torches next to the throne, and I'm pretty much, I don't know that I'm going to add a whole lot more to this, because I'm pretty happy with the way this throne diorama has turned out. And you can go to Unshackled Media and watch a video there on how I built this diorama if you want to. And that'll kind of show you how I did this and how I did everything. So if you like building dioramas, or if you're into building dioramas and things like that, and you have, this is for 1/12 scale for 1/12 figures. I'm actually going to use this on my YouTube channel, Grimscale Studios. Yes, I have another 2 YouTube channels. Actually, I have 4 YouTube channels, but on this particular one, I'm going to just you can go and you can see how I built this one in there if you want to. And so there you go. That's how you build these torch models for this diorama. So I'll show you how they look now up against that. Let's put a plain piece of, so there you go. Pretty cool, very nice. This guy ain't supposed to be here, but yeah, very nice and very different ancient temple diorama that I have built. So all right, well, thank you for stopping in at Crafty Creations by Paul, and I hope to see you next time, and we'll do this, and we'll do something different, and we'll build something different. So let's build together next time right here on Crafty Creations by Paul. Thank you.